I'm Mark Patterson, Chair of the New York State Cemetery Board. I'll bring the July meeting to order. I have no particular open remarks, so I'll introduce my colleagues. Tom.
I'm Thomas Fuller, representing the Commissioner of Health, Dr. James McDonald.
And Jill, I can't see you, but I assume you're there.
I am. Hi, I'm Jill Faber, representing Attorney General Letitia James.
And I'm Mark Patterson, representing the Secretary of State, Robert Rodriguez. We start the meeting with a review of the minutes of the previous meeting. Is there anybody that has any corrections or suggestions to the minutes as distributed? Joe?
No.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the previous meeting as distributed.
Second.
All in favor?
Never mind the sign.
Aye. Louis, do you need to correct minutes or anything?
Yeah, let me explain that. So the May minutes had a mistake in them. At the May meeting, let me take a step back. At the May meeting, we approved a hazardous monument application for Grove Cemetery in Steuben County, and while the dollar amount approved was correct, there were two monuments that we had recommended excluding from the approval, which brought the total number of monuments down from 20 to 18. Nevertheless, in approving it and in the board order that you guys signed, it said 20 monuments. I noticed this after the fact and put a note in the minutes, in brackets and bold, to the fact that, hey, we got the wrong number next time. Let's fix this. Unfortunately, that note stayed in the minutes that were approved, and we didn't correct it. So we got to do two things. The first one right now is just to approve corrected minutes, where I took out the bracketed thing saying, hey, we got to fix this, and added a note saying that the board approved the incorrect number of monuments, so the dollar amount was correct. So I circulated those corrected minutes and asked that those be, I guess, approved and substitute for the previously approved May minutes.
Okay. So everybody understand that? So I would make a motion to approve the corrected May minutes as distributed.
I'll second that.
Joe?
Aye.
Yeah, second, sorry, no question. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
May minutes are,
You want to do the board order for that now?
We'll do that when we do the board orders.
Okay.
okay, so, and is there a second piece to that?
Yeah, we'll do that when we do the other hazardous monument applications.
Okay. So, the next is a report from our counsel, Rob Vanderglis, on any potential legislation or regulation he distributed.
I did not distribute a legislative report because there weren't any substantive updates since the last one. I do want to share that through Chapter 58 of the laws of 2023, there's been an amendment to the Open Meetings Law at Public Officers Law 103-A. Under the amendment, a board member unable to attend a location open to the public because of a disability can be counted towards in-person quorum. My understanding is that the Committee on Open Government should be issuing guidance soon on implementing that change, and so I would recommend awaiting that guidance from COOG, and then I will follow up with the board after that. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll just turn to regulations and mention that we continue to make progress on internal approvals for the NOR regulations, that's organic reduction. I remain optimistic that at the next meeting, we will have a draft to share. And I thank you for your patience.
Anybody have any questions about rules, regulations, or legislation?
No.
Thank you, Rob. Louis, do you have a division report?
I do, but I was distracted by the fact that I somehow got on the network now. We're continuing with hiring. We have made recommendations to hire an associate accountant here in Albany and a senior accountant in Syracuse. We are finishing up recruitments for administrative assistant in Albany and a senior accountant in New York City. And we are waiting on a new list for the senior accountant vacancy in Albany. For those of you keeping score at home, associate accountant outranks senior accountant. That's not obvious at all from the titles. The senior accountants are line accountants, associate accountants are supervising. So that's staffing. I don't want to give any names yet because we haven't made any formal offers that have been accepted yet. We haven't made any formal offers yet, let alone them being accepted. We are kicking off, we're going to be getting out publicity today or tomorrow, our regional Cemetery 101 sessions. First two are on August 1st. They're going to be the first one in the morning is going to be at Mount Calvary Cemetery in Cheektowaga. The next one's going to be at Woodlawn Cemetery in Canandaigua. Mount Calvary has graciously agreed to provide lunch at the first one, so if you're halfway between the two, go to the one that has food. But the chapel in Canandaigua is a project, it's a major renovation project they did with our approval, and it's supposed to be, I've never actually been, it's supposed to be really cool, and that's where we're going to be having it, so that should be nice. August 2nd, Cheektowaga at 9 a.m. Canandaigua's at 4 p.m., so people who are working can maybe just leave a little early and be there. The following day will be in Syracuse, also at 4 p.m. at Woodlawn Cemetery. And they're both named Woodlawn, I know it's confusing. And on August 7th, we're going to be doing a presentation at SUNY Canton, also at 4 p.m. We're going to be working on a series of them for the fall. We're going to try to schedule one in Suffolk County and one somewhere in the Hudson Valley. We haven't figured out exactly where yet. Maybe two in the Hudson Valley. And of course, NYSAC is doing its usual regional meeting in Oneonta in the fall. So we'll be hoping to present this as part of their meeting, or at least the modified version thereof. So one thing we found, even though these you would look at the Cemetery 101 and think this was geared to new officers and directors, and it is, but it's surprising how often seasoned officers or directors, or for that matter, us off the top of our head, don't know the answer to things. We don't all have every answer at our fingertips. There's lots of arcane stuff that just doesn't come up that often. So this would be a good place to learn more about that. I think that's all I had for this month.
You can ask,
Yes.
For purpose of transparency. So just to describe again what Cemetery 101 is and who the audiences are.
The target audience are officers, directors, and employees. Cemeteries, we're basically it's a program that gives sort of the basics of cemetery law and regulations for operation, on the operational side and on the accounting side. So we have a presentation from an investigator and from an accountant to go over what you need to do to run a cemetery properly and in compliance with our statute and regs. And some component of best practices as well.
Terrific, and they're in person, not virtual.
All in person. We are not planning on streaming them. We are thinking of potentially recording them and then putting a recording of the one we like best on our website.
Okay, any board members have questions about I think it's terrific. I'm glad we're doing it. Appreciate NYSAC's support and help do that. So we always work with that. Greg, Lewis, is that all you're going to move to annual reports?
Well, before that, yeah, Alicia will give the annual report information and then the Vandals report.
Yeah, we've received 1,322 annual reports so far this calendar year, of which 572 were online, representing 43% of total reports being filed online. posted the vandalism report online. Anybody got any
Anybody-
questions about it?
Have any questions of,
We have obligations of almost $2 million of applications that were approved in previous years. What's in the hopper? What's on the agenda now?
that happened?
Well, how likely though is it that we're actually gonna run out of money? I mean, is that,
No.
because
not
some of it's
likely.
gonna go into the following fiscal year.
Right.
For the second
Because we're
payments.
Pay out the 25%.
Yeah, okay, well, that's great though. Here to serve, as they say. All right, anybody have any questions of the abandonment of the annual report or the vandalism report? No? Okay, so we can move on to our agenda, which is largely vandalism applications, 3 dangerous monuments, 1 vandalism. We're gonna start with Dale. Is that where we want to start?
Yeah, that's me. This is Len Green from the Division Cemeteries. We have Vale Cemetery, an application for vandalism damage. The damage was 2 separate incidents. The first incident was for 37 monuments, and a short time later, the cemetery discovered 7 additional monuments that were vandalized for a total of 44 monuments is what they applied to our office to have repaired. They received 2 estimates to repair the damage. Both of the estimates are for foundation work to a depth of 42 inches, and both of the estimates offer a 10-year warranty. They submitted a police report for both of the incidents, and they also submitted a legal ad that they ran in an attempt to contact lot owners to notify them that their monuments were damaged, and to date, they have not received any response from the notice in the paper. This appears to be a legitimate claim for the repair of 44 monuments, so I recommend approval in the amount of $20,213.
$200.13.
$20,213.13.
Wait, what?
20,000, oh, you're right.
$20,200.13.
Thank you, sorry. I'm reading my report as a typo. Thank you for clarifying.
I moved to correct until okay, so, does anybody, Rob, you have anything to add, Council?
Just my understanding is that the cemetery did not submit the application within 6 months of discovering the vandalism because they were trying to secure the appropriate number of quotes, right?
That's right. They were having trouble securing the second quote, as do a lot of cemeteries these days seem to have trouble finding 2 quotes. The contractors are busy, they et cetera, they don't. And also, this is during COVID, so they're having trouble along those lines. And, but they're finally able to secure the second estimate. Both included here.
So,
I have no further questions.
any board members have questions about the application or about them?
No,
All right, I'll make a motion to approve, excuse me, the application from Vale Cemetery for vandalism funds for 44 monuments in the amount of $20,200.13. Second. All in favor? Aye.
aye.
Motion is approved. Is next CPO? Is that right?
This is Mike Seelman from the division.
Okay.
Scipio Rural Cemetery, it's a small cemetery in the town of Scipio, Cayuga County. They submitted an application for the repair of 30 hazardous monuments. I visited the cemetery and confirmed all 30 monuments appeared to be hazardous. The most recent of these monuments is dated 1941, and the cemetery stated they do not have lot owner records going that far back. And they ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the shopper. They got no response to that. The division's understanding is that the cemetery has determined that the lot owners cannot be located. With their application, they submitted 3 estimates, the lowest of which was from St. John Memorials. All the estimates were for 42-inch concrete foundations and included 10-year warranties. The amount of that estimate was $25,598. This is Scipio Rural Cemetery's first application for funds. They're up to date on vandalism payments, and I recommend approval in the amount of $25,823.45.
Okay. Anybody have any, Rob, do you have anything to add?
No comments from council.
No comments from council? Any questions from the board?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the application of CPO Rural Cemetery in Cayuga County for 30 monument repairs in the amount of $25,823.43. So have a second.
45 cents?
45.
45 cents.
What'd I say?
43.
Why?
I don't, subject to the
I could do something, therapy on the side. All right.
I'll second
All
that.
right, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh.
Okay. And next is Oriskany Cemetery in Oneida County.
It's Mike Seelman again. Oriskany Cemetery is a small rural cemetery in the town of Whitestown, Oneida County. They submitted an application for repair of 32 hazardous monuments. I visited cemetery, looked at the monuments, and all 32 appeared to be hazardous. The most recent monument is dated 2008, and the cemetery stated they don't have records for that period. And the reason for that, well, the cemetery was reorganized in 2020, and they realized that they had had some issues prior to that. So currently, they keep all lot owner information on record. So because they didn't have the information, they ran a legal notice once a week for 3 weeks in the Rome Sentinel. They got no response from that legal notice. Again, it's our understanding that the cemetery is determined that the lot owners cannot be located. They submitted 2 repair estimates, both with 10-year warranties and 42-inch concrete foundations. The lowest one was from Northeast Cemetery Services for $45,600 to reset 32 monuments. Northeast Cemetery Service did request in their estimate that they be paid 50% upfront. That information was just passed along by the cemetery. Oriskany Cemetery is up to date on their vandalism payments, and the previous allocation was used appropriately. And I recommend approval in the amount of $45,703.16.
Thank you, Mike. Rob, do you have anything to add?
Nope, no comments.
Mike, let me ask a question. Is there, if we only give them 25% up front, do they have the ability either to come up with the other 25% pending payment? Or alternatively, do they have the ability to pay the additional cost of hiring the more expensive guy with that guy, take 25% up front?
I know that they had an application last year, and the same request was made, and the disbursement was made in the amount of 25%, and the contractor went ahead and did the work and was paid. I haven't followed up with the cemetery to see if they have the cash reserve to pay out the other 25% to get them started. I could follow up on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can just approve it as is. The concern I have is if it ends up that they can't do it at this price because they can't come up with the difference in cash, they're just gonna have to come back here. But I don't see that as an impediment to approving it. We can also try to make a pitch to see whether we can pay 50% upfront, but I'm skeptical as to whether we will actually succeed in that. Anyway, I just wanted the issue to be out there. I don't think there's any reason to do anything other than approve it.
Any discussion from members of the board?
I mean, what would it take to get approval to give 50%?
It's purely an internal process.
That's an internal process.
I mean, you know, that we're not exactly we don't contract, but it's just general practice not to get too far ahead of the contract. Right, we're not.
From the cemetery on,
They can build quickly, they can get a progress payment quickly and not get 50%.
Yes, we can all, we have in the past gotten progress payments instead of just 25% and the rest at the end. And that is definitely something we can do. It's a bit of a pain for us because it requires a third voucher, but it's doable. For larger projects, that is how we do things.
Any other questions from members of the board or additions from the staff?
No.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the application from Risky Cemetery for 32 monuments in the amount of $45,703.16. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Last one is Bath Cemetery.
Second to last one, we'll have to do Grove after that.
You have to do what?
Grove after that, correcting it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But do that first.
Bath
I'm
Cemetery.
sorry, are we going ahead with Bath or are we doing Grove?
Bath. I'll explain Grove when we get there.
Okay, this is Brendan Stant with the division. I have an application from the Bath Cemetery Association of the town of Bath, Steuben County, for the repair of 20 hazardous monuments. I did visit the cemetery and found that all 20 of the monuments included in the application did appear to be hazardous. The most recent one was placed in the year 2017, and in fact there were 6 monuments that were recent enough for the Cemetery Association to have address information on file. They did send certified letters to those 6 lot owners. All 6 were returned as undeliverable. The Cemetery Association ran a legal notice as required for, you know, the remainder, and did include those names as well in it. They also ran a legal notice soliciting bids and were able to get 2 bids. So for, you know, this is a subsequent project. The cemetery has had either 2 or 3 rounds of this previously. It's a large cemetery, so I would anticipate there's probably more, excuse me, than just the 20 that are included here. But today, that is what has been presented, and I am recommending in favor of approval of this application in the amount of the lower estimate plus the cost of the legal notices and the certified mailings in the amount of $17,361.68.
Brendan, thank you so much. I think you answered my question, but I just want to make sure. The notice that the newspaper ran from 10/11 to 10/25 was a public notice requesting bids from contractors, and the notice ran 10/25 to 11/08 was the notice to lot owners?
That is correct.
Understood.
The copy of the bids notice is included with the regular legal notice. It was just taped onto the same sheet, so it didn't necessarily appear to have been a different notice, but that was indeed where the 2 charges came.
Understood. I don't have any further questions. Thank you, Brendan.
Okay. Any comments or questions from members of the board?
No.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the application of Bath Cemetery in Steuben County for 20 monuments in the amount of $17,361.68. All in favor? Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We have a correction for Grove Cemetery.
Right, so as I explained before, Grove Cemetery initially applied, this was approved back in May. Grove Cemetery initially applied for approval of repairing 20 hazardous monuments. We found that only 18 of them were hazardous. They agreed to withdraw the extra 2, which brought the amount of the approval down from $23,855.50 to $21,540.50. The board approved the correct dollar amount, but said 20 monuments. 2 of those monuments aren't actually eligible for repair. Obviously, it's unlikely that the cemetery would use less money to repair more monuments when we all agreed that those 2 weren't hazardous. But we should correct this to reflect that the approval is for repair of 18 monuments for $21,540.50, still subject to availability of funds.
Okay, so anything else?
Nope.
Right, so I think what I do is make a motion to amend the approval of Grove Cemetery in May, application in May, and correct the number of monuments that would be approved from 20 to 18. But this number, the actual approved amount of $21,540.50 remains. Correct?
Correct.
So I will make a motion to approve Grove Cemetery with those corrections, subject to the availability of funds, and to amend all other earlier ones to also say subject to the availability of funds. If that's legal, I'm not sure, but it should work. A second?
I'll second.
Second, Jill? All right.
Aye.
Can you stand the excitement? All in favor? Aye. Aye, motion carries. Thank you all.
One
And
more.
we have one more application from Woodlawn Cemetery for a land sale.
Woodlawn or Woodland?
Woodland.
This is
Woodlawn.
Brendan
Land.
Stant again with the division. We have an application from the Woodland Cemetery Association of the town of Delhi, Delaware County, and they are requesting cemetery board approval for the sale of 7 10,000ths of an acre of land that is 32 square feet, and also approval of a temporary easement for 6 1,000ths of an acre of land, which is an additional 267 square feet. The impetus for this is a highway improvement project by the New York State Department of Transportation. They have appropriated, or what's the word? I guess the legal word is taking. They have taken this land via their eminent domain power, and they in turn have submitted this offer sheet to the Cemetery Association to pay them $175 for the permanent possession of the 7 10,000ths of an acre of land, and the temporary easement on the remainder. The land is at the extreme southwestern corner of the cemetery, at its primary entrance. The land being sold is completely outside of the cemetery's fence, and is between 200 250 feet away from the nearest burials. And the temporary easement land is behind that, but at its northernmost point, it's still 150 feet from the nearest burial. The purpose of the land will be to part of making improvements to State Highway 28, which runs directly adjacent to the cemetery. Specifically, they'll be using the land that they're purchasing to make improvements for pedestrians and persons with disabilities, that sort of, the tactile, square things with the bumps on them that you have at curb cuts. And the land for the easement is directly behind that, mostly for staging stuff, to work on the portion of the land that they're taking. The sale price, $175, was based on the State Department of Transportation's approved procedures that they have gone through the process of developing, and they state that they're in accordance with appraisal standards as defined by the Uniform Standards of Professional Appraisal Practice, which is the same standards, that the appraisals that we generally see with land transactions are held to. At a extremely generous valuation of land in Delaware County, they're being well compensated. It works out to, for the land that's being sold, in excess of $236,000 per acre. And if the easement is included, it works out to a valuation of just over $25,000 per acre. Both of those figures are well in excess of what vacant land goes for in rural Delaware County. Because this transaction is so small, and it appears that the State Department of Transportation has used the same methods to determine this value as the appraisals that are normally required, I'm requesting that the board accept the valuation of the property without requiring any additional appraisals. So to sum it up, the Cemetery Association is happy with the dollar amount that they have, been offered for this land. They're aware that it needs to be deposited in their permanent maintenance fund, and have agreed to do so. And for these reasons, I recommend approval of this application.
Thank you, Brennan. Does council review this complicated transaction?
So a few initial matters. One, the board could consider this a type 2 action as a lot line adjustment. Two, just a point of clarification, my understanding is that the proposed sale is in lieu of the state exercising its eminent domain powers, and is not doing this as part of the sale, but rather offering the sale as an alternative. And is it my understanding that the division's position is that the enhanced pedestrian access and handicap accessibility to the cemetery would benefit the lot owners of the cemetery?
Yes, absolutely. There's also, it's not in the report, but there's also a little bit of an added benefit because they're opening up the drive a little bit, and just pull up the map right here. The driveway comes out onto kind of like a corner of Route 28 and a side street, and having it a little wider would probably make it safer, get a smidge safer getting in and out of there by car as well.
Okay. I have nothing further.
So,
I have I'm sorry, I just had a couple of questions.
No.
So it's not a DOT, it's not a state appropriation.
No, it is. It's just not by eminent domain.
Right, the cemetery is asking permission to sell the land in lieu of requiring DOT to go through the eminent domain process.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I guess my question was just whether that changes, let me ask you this, does that change, it sounds like a very, the price sounds very, very reasonable. It's a small piece of land. I don't have any substantive concerns or questions about the transaction. I just didn't know how the transfer to the state implicates, if it does at all, our powers to consider and approve it. It's not eminent domain, then it's a sale to the state, but we're using the state's basically appropriation calculation as the appraisal. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the recommendation from the
Okay.
commission, that because, well, I mean, you can consider the history of, purchase and sale of property with cemeteries, and that, the state DOT is not looking to, have a sweetheart deal by which, exactly. And so, given the very de minimis amount, this might be an appropriate time where the cemetery board does not require two appraisals, as we often do, and rely upon the assessment performed by DOT, which is also using appraisal standards.
Right, the statute only says fair market value.
Right. And based on what we know of land values, this is we can determine that this is fair market value, is what we're saying.
We're not appraisers.
Yes.
Well, I understand,
With
but
that caveat, yes, we can.
DOT has like I mean, I guess do we have? I'm not trying to be a stickler. I'm just saying, do we have the calculation or the like how did DOT come up with? I mean, they've got formulas obviously for how they come up with what's fair market value. Do we have any recitation of that, or?
I thought I heard Brendan say that that they're using a procedure that is the same as or approximate to the way an appraiser would do it. It's their standard procedure, and that in looking at the land, at the price, if you extrapolate that to a full acre price, that it's well within the it's in or above the fair market value of property in that area.
Page 7 is DOT's recitation of how they reached the calculation of $175.
Okay.
And Brendan did do some back of the envelope math and compare it to local property value on a per square foot basis. But again, we're not appraisers, so I wouldn't put too much weight on that.
No, but I think we are using our judgment to say that the state's process is sufficient. That's the
Yes.
relying on the
Right.
process. You're not appraisers, but you are regulators, and so you're that with
Right, and there is enough, right, there is enough in the application for us to determine that the state's process in lieu of seeking to appraisal
even though
is
it's
sufficient, and that's all I was trying to get at, yeah.
Yes, I think that's appropriate to bring up because
Okay.
they are also the purchaser providing the price. So that makes sense. So does that resolve your issues?
Yeah. At first I thought it was eminent domain, and then I was gonna have other questions, but now I don't. It's sale.
That's what we have here too. Okay, so we need a motion to approve the land sale of Woodland Cemetery to the state of New York Department of Transportation for the amounts that we discussed. Is there anything else I can put in the motion?
Nope.
So are there any questions from members? Second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Mark, before we end, I apologize. I was so busy celebrating getting on the Wi-Fi that I omitted a part of the division report that's actually required by our regulations.
Okay.
So, going back to the division report, we're required to report quarterly to the board on cemeteries that are at risk of abandonment. I did not circulate a report before this. I thought there were no updates. There are some minor updates. There are no updates in the sense that we've had no abandonments or quote unquote saves where we've successfully had a special meeting that's definitively put the cemetery on a path to not being abandoned in the past 2 months. But we have had some new ones in our radar, so I do want to flag those for the board, and I will circulate this and I'll post it for the next meeting along with any further updates.
Okay.
So first of all, I should mention also, I did report last month that Warsaw Cemetery is in the process of being conveyed to the town, not abandoned. That hasn't changed as far as we know. That conveyance hasn't happened yet. Nobody's told us if it has. But that one we previously reported on. Going county by county, this one was already on our radar. Willowbrook Cemetery in Chautauqua County has been on our radar for quite some time. We attended a meeting there. We were going to attend a meeting on, it says attended a meeting on July 12th. July 12th is tomorrow.
Will attend a meeting?
Okay, so we're still working with them for a special meeting. I mean, it says that we've got a special meeting coming up. We've been working with them for a very long time. The issue is identifying people who are willing to serve on the board there. If I'm not mistaken, this was located in a city, which in the city of Fredonia, which would make things even more complicated because there's no plan B. Clinton County, we have Len's working on this one. East Bigtown Cemetery, the last main board member intends to resign. We're going to be trying to organize a special meeting to see if we can identify additional people to serve on the board. We have similar situation in Delaware County, East Meredith Cemetery. There's only one active board member left. We're going to be trying to, we're doing an audit, and then we're going to try to schedule a special meeting for that one. In Franklin County, up north Bangor Cemetery, one of the board members is inquired about abandonment. We're going to educate them, work with them to hopefully stave that off. Dolgeville, how's that pronounced? Dolgeville Cemetery, Herkimer County. We are working with them. We are working with them to. We recently attended a meeting with the town and cemetery officials. We're working on a special meeting. The issue is they don't have somebody to do the mowing. Board members would be willing to stay, but they need someone to do the mowing. And that's been done on a volunteer basis until now. So they're still working on that. 2 in Madison County, Brookfield Rural and Hillside. Both are struggling financially. Brookfield Rural in particular is affected by the events leading to the Attorney General's investigation of Burton Marshall. The cemetery invested funds with him, and the status of recovery of those funds remains to be seen. I'm not going to comment on another agency's investigation, but this has been in the paper that Burton Marshall's a guy who essentially provided a high rate of return for people loaning money to him, and that seems not to be able to repay the principal. And he's under investigation by the Attorney General's office. That's ongoing. Saratoga County, I know we've got in Clifton Park Cemetery. Len recently met with them. They're concerned about their future. I wouldn't say that they're in imminent danger of abandonment, but they're
going to be able to continue on as enough.
You think that, okay, so we should be reporting on that. We should be reporting on that one as a successful special meeting.
Sure.
I thought that was still a bit in process. And last one is Gainesville Cemetery in Wyoming County. We are working with this cemetery. They need assistance. The town, as of last Friday, we've got a report the town is willing at least to consider providing assistance that will keep it going as a going concern and avoid abandonment. We're still waiting on final word on that. Like I said, I'm gonna, because this report, we delayed doing the reporting on the abandonment report for the last quarter so that we could do it at the NYSAC meeting. So this one's a little bit more recent compared to the previous one. I'm gonna put together a full report to share for the August meeting, like a little more narrative, and we can post that out to the board. But
Sounds like good work.
yeah, we haven't lost any, and we've saved, I guess we've saved one, although I think it's still, we're still waiting on who the board's gonna be, right?
For which cemetery?
The one in, the one in Saratoga County.
Oh, it's Clifton Park. Well, the board is gonna remain the same.
Oh, so they're not-
They're attempting to recruit new members.
Okay, that's the part. That's-
Alicia and I recently attended a special lot owners meeting for Stuyvesant Falls in Columbia County. And they were unsuccessful basically in recruiting new lot owners. So it looks like that one may end up being conveyed unless, somebody steps forward very soon.
And we still need to do an audit on them to see whether they're solid.
I believe they're funds, they don't have a lot of money.
Okay. So that will unfortunately probably be reported as a,
Conveyance, so
at a
we-
future
the-
meeting.
Town official was at the meeting and he's just, let's do the conveyance, so we're waiting. Unfortunately, not all the board members were there, so they couldn't
Convey.
convey, so we're waiting on them to get,
Is this one in particular looking for any funds from us?
no,
So that's likely to be a conveyance, not an abandonment.
yes.
Okay.
The town has
made
been
yeah.
giving them money for several years to contribute towards the maintenance of the grounds. So they've already got their hand in operations. So the actual conveyance won't be, a large process because the town is already involved somewhat.
With a conveyance as opposed to an abandonment, we will report on it when it happens, but it doesn't require any board action.
Thank you, Louis. Thank you to the staff who are working to support the cemeteries. And as always, thank you to the cemeterians who are trying to keep their cemeteries viable. Did any board members have any questions about that in addition to the report? Our next board meeting is August 8th.
So there's a slight change. The meeting will be August 8th, but we're going to be having it at 2 p.m. The reason for the change is that a bunch of us are going to be up in Canton the evening of August 7th doing a Cemetery 101 at SUNY Canton and getting down from Canton to here by 10:30 a.m. would take more than a bit of doing.
Okay. This is the opportunity for us to receive public comment on issues before the board or other issues that are pertinent to the cemetery. Is there anybody online wishing to address the board? Is there anyone else here that wants to address the board?
Sure. David Fleming from the New York City Association of Cemeteries. I just want to thank the division for working with NYSAC on these upcoming Cemetery 101 meetings. Mr. Polishuk hit a key point. There may be many folks who have served on boards for a long time, but they wind up getting in new positions because of resignations or deaths, or folks aren't willing to step forward. And they find themselves in new roles as treasurers or secretaries in positions or superintendents that they've never had before. And these are important classes because even folks who have been on boards for a long time come away learning something. And so it's a great opportunity to do outreach, and we're happy to support the effort.
Thank you.
Well, I'll add, just because I tell this every time we give one of these sessions, if I'm there, that there's no shame in admitting either not knowing something or admitting you're not knowing something. I've been here almost 10 years now. Every other week, I will get at least one call that neither I nor anybody else in the division can answer off the top of our heads. I say. So that's a fairly common occurrence, not to have all the answers at one's fingertips.
I'm delighted that we're putting the effort in, and our staff are excited about the opportunity, so that's great, and we've got good feedback. Okay, I don't think there's any other issues before the board, so I'll make a motion to adjourn the July meeting of the cemetery board. Second? All in favor? Aye, meeting is adjourned. Oh, sorry, keep going. I said aye. All right, thank you, Jill.